Yeah, time for bed. I hope that story wasn't too scary for you.
Oh, no, Grandpa. Not for us.
Well, sleep well.
Would you leave the door open a little? Or a lot?
Certainly. Good night.
Louie. What? I didn't believe that story. Did you? Of course not. Especially the monster part. And the screaming part. Do you hear something? Like what? Like something coming up the stairs? It's nothing. Look at that shadow on the wall. Here it comes. It's getting bigger. It's only Leonard. Boy, are we glad to see you. Louie. What? I think there's something under my bed. There's nothing under your bed. How do you know? I just know. Take a look. I'm too tired. I bet you're afraid to put your feet over the edge. No, I'm not. Grandpa! Grandpa! Grandpa!
Well, hello. What seems to be the trouble?
Something was under our beds.
Is that so? Why, the very same thing happened to me once. It was long ago when I was visiting my grandparents. I was about your age, and the house was strange. I was a little bit scared on my way to bed. As I went up the stairs, glittery eyes stared at me through the window.
Those were probably just fireflies, Grandpa.
Well, perhaps you're right. My room was at the end of a long, long hall. I went into my room, put on my pajamas, picked up a book, and read for a while. Suddenly, I realized I'd forgotten to look under the bed. I worked up my nerve and took a peek. It was awful. A creature with wild hair, no head, and a long tail was standing there.
But Grandpa, wasn't that your shoes, your bathrobe, and your hairbrush just where you had left them?
Why, that's just what it was. I got back into bed, and then I heard some horrible sounds. Little creatures on stilts. They went knick-knock, knick-knock.
Grandpa, was there a big grandfather clock in the hall?
Why, yes, there was.
Well, what did it sound like?
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, I closed my eyes. A huge and terrible bird flew in. I could feel its feathers on my face.
Probably not a big bird, Grandpa.
No? Then what could it have been?
A few moths.
Just what it was. But then, outside my window, I heard pirates fighting with swords. Clash, clash.
Probably some cats jumping on garbage cans.
Probably. Well, then the bats came in. I could hear them fluttering all around me.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Could it have been the wind fluttering the pages of your book?
Not only could have been, it was.
You should have closed the window.
Just what I did.
All quiet after that?
Yes. Until the ghosts started wailing and moaning.
You should have shut the window tighter.
Right you are. I got up and shut the window tighter.
Safe at last, eh?
Well, I thought so. But then I heard the skeletons climbing up the side of the house. Their bones were creaking as they climbed.
Were you scared, Grandpa?
Indeed, I was.
You shouldn't have been. It was the branches of the tree creaking in the wind.
How did you know? Well, it was getting hot, so I foolishly opened the window again.
Not a good idea?
No, the light blew out.
Were you scared in the dark, Grandpa?
Well, just until I got used to it.
Then you felt better?
No, worse. Then I could see what was coming in the window.
Such as?
Oh, goblins, witches, spiders, giants, monsters, dragons, slitherers and creepers, leeches that wriggled, wretches that giggled, peaches that screeched, creatures that reached and pinched and poked and nibbled and dribbled, snapped and stomped and squished, scratches and catches, growlers and howlers, things that were smelly or shaky like jelly. Suddenly they all started chasing me. I ran out of the door. I could hear something coming after me. I ran from one room to another and down the halls. I ran upstairs and down, and finally I stopped to rest. I looked behind me, and nothing was there.
So you were safe and sound, Grandpa?
No, that's when they grabbed me.
Who? What?
Well, what seems to be the trouble, lad? We heard you running around. Why, it was only my grandpa and grandma. They thought maybe I was hungry. They gave me a big bowl of strawberry ice cream, and I felt much better.
Do you have any ice cream, Grandpa?
Well, wouldn't hurt to take a look.